morning and wandering in a 12 forest of Vrindavan. Actually, we were really wandering in the 12 forest of Vrindavan, visiting where Krishna came for just killing the Dantavatra to make all the Brajvasis from the Kurukshetra war. Then also Santanukand that yesterday we visited. Then we walked over from Kumudwan to Radhakund, and then we see the Padmakund and where Kapil Dev meditated. And then we came to Santanukand, where Santanukand made that austerities there, wonderful pastimes. Then we came where the Kechuri, where Putana, Agasur and Bakasur born. And then also we visited the place where Krishna, the peacock requested Krishna to play the flute and they danced there. And then in return to show the gratitude, all the peacocks give their dearmost whole body. They give the feather as a gratitude to Krishna. We can learn from this pastime what we should do to Krishna to show our gratitude. So those spiritual warriors who made our journey successful was Ishwar Krishna Prabhu, Yamuna Sundari Mataji, I.V. Gautam, Ravi Pipalia Prabhu, Vrajeshwari Priya Devidasi, Govinda Gita Devidasi, Kasturi Manjari Mataji, Sistastika Devidasi, Parmeshwari Devidasi, Amol and Smita Panchpande, Raghav Chaitanya Prabhu, Girivardhari Prabhu, Shriya Devidasi, Sitala Priya Devidasi, Sachinandan Krishna Prabhu, Srinivas Acharya Prabhu, Hanuman Prabhu, Pratmesh Prabhu, Nadia Kumar Prabhu, Saman Prabhu. We didn't see Leela Manjari Mataji. Maybe she is worshipping the deity she does in Chicago temple. Raga Bhakti Devidasi, Survangi Shyam Devidasi and Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu joined today. Haribol. Sugandhraj Prabhu, Aradhana Devidasi, Janki Khan Prabhu, Labanga Latika Mataji, Tapti Ghosh Mataji, Manmatha Anand Prabhu, Sundari Radha Mataji, Parmanand Hari Prabhu, Nandan Priya Mataji, Pandurang Devdas Prabhu, Damodarati Mataji, Sikha and Pankaj Gupta, Rohit Mishra Prabhu, Pranath Gopal Prabhu, Radhika Prem Devidasi, Saraswati Devidasi, Sumitra Radha Devidasi, Devendra Krishna Prabhu, Missing Saloni, Vraj Vinod Prabhu, Anand Vinodini Devidasi, Priyanka Mataji, Rukmini Priya Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Namanand Prabhu, Prem Vinodini Mataji, Madhvi Gopi Mataji, Ganga Devidasi, Uttam Bhakta Prabhu, Vallabhi Mataji, Rajendra Prabhu, Abhay Prabhu, Vijay Keshav Prabhu, Amal Atman Prabhu, Gadadhar Chandra Prabhu, Tulsi Priya Devidasi, Jai Govinda Prabhu, Bhadrabharti Mataji, Sarvatarak Prabhu joined early today, Amal Nam Prabhu, Govinda Mohini Devidasi, Krita Lakshan Prabhu. I didn't see Matangi Mataji name. Manoj Kapoor Prabhu, Kamal Priya Mataji, Karunamai Mataji, Radha Charan Prabhu, Abhay Charan Prabhu, Shukruti Devidasi, didn't see Lakshmi, Kamini Priya Mataji, Sankarsan and Manjari, Sundari Leela Mataji, Sarmishta Sahi Mataji, Mamta Mataji, Balram Prabhu, Karunya Murti Mataji, Radha Vallabh Prabhu, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Harikatha Devidasi, Rasakeda Prabhu, Anand Radhika Mataji, Pitambar Priya Prabhu, Advait Prabhu. Advait Prabhu joined at 2 o'clock Phoenix time, Haribol. Rajesh and Sweta, Chintamani Devidasi, Amut and Prem Priya Padma Mataji, Suchitra Devidasi, Sri Kumar Prabhu. I didn't see Sumit Prabhu today. Kanta Mataji, Rasmi Mataji. And Srikant Ji is actually, Prabhuji has put his name, Srinivas Charan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving that name. Otherwise, always I used to say Srikant Ji. Haribol. Srikant Survasi Prabhu. Nishant Sharma Prabhu. Nitya Navali Devidasi. Neeraj Srivastava Prabhu joined very early, around 2:15 a.m. Prafulanand Madhav Prabhu, Sripada Lalita Devi Dasi, I didn't see Aksata today. Vani Prabhu, didn't see Lekha Mataji. Taneswar Prabhu, Raja Ramdas Prabhu, Sudevi Sundari Mataji, Radhika Bhakti Mataji, Madan Khandu Prabhu, I don't know, maybe Prabhu must have joined. I didn't see his picture. Rupsi Mataji, actually I was gonna call you Rupsi Mataji because we have been missing you for a couple of days, but nice to see you back. Patit Pawan Prabhu. Gayatri joined today early, around 4 o'clock or something. Haribol. Ramakrishna Prabhu and Lalita. Pragya Nagpal Mataji. Then Arundhati Devi Dasi also joined. She joined some time ago, but then I wasn't seeing, but today I noticed her, she joined. Welcome back, Mataji. Sudhir Krishna Prabhu, Sakhi Saran Devi Dasi, Anita Saha from Dhaka, Bhavesh Pandya, Murli Gopal Prabhu, and also Pahuja Mataji joined. So with those thoughts, sorry if I have missed anybody's name, let's hear the wonderful song, then we will read the Jaiva Dharma.
Parama karuna bahuduri jana nitai gaura chandra sabavatar sara shiromani kevala ananda kanda sabavatar sara shiromani kevala ananda kanda kevala ananda kanda kevala ananda kanda kevala ananda kanda kevala ananda kanda. भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताय सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताय सुदृढ़ विश्वास कोरी विषय छाड़िया सेरा से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि विषय छाड़िया सेरा से मजिया मुखे बोलो हरि हरि मुखे बोलो हरि हरि मुखे बोलो हरि हरि मुखे बोलो हरि हरि मुखे बोलो हरि हरि. देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाय हे मन दयाल दाता देखो रे भाई त्रिभुवन नाय हे मन दयाल दाता पशु पक्षी जोरे पाषाण विदार शुनि जार गुण गाथा पशु पक्षी झूरे पाषाण विदार शुनि जार गुण गाथा शुनि जार गुण गाथा शुनि जार गुण गाथा शुनि जार संसारे मजिया रोहिली कोरिया से पदे नहीं लोआ संसारे मजिया रोहिली कोरिया से पदे नहीं लोआ आपन करम भुंजाए समान कहोए लोचन दास आपन करम भुंजाए समान कहोए लोचन दास 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 परम करुण बहु दूरी जान निताय गौरचंद्र परम करुण बहु दूरी जान निताय गौरचंद्र.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for playing a wonderful song by Lochandas Thakur. So, before we read, we would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of the lotus feet of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who has given us a book where we can learn everything about devotional life up to the stage of to know our identity, to know our Swarup activities. Everything will be revealed through this book. If we will become qualified, then we will attain those stages, but at least it will give us a glimpse of it. So we were reading for the day, so I would like to read that because the question was asked and then we were not able to hear the answer that Raghunath Das Babaji gave. So Brajanath is asking, I remember attending a debate in Navdeep where a Brahmana Pandit tried to establish the point that the Jiva is the only reality in existence. Thus, the Jiva creates everything in his dream state and therefore experiences happiness and distress until when the dream ceases. He sees that he is the Brahman. Can you kindly explain this to me? That was the question. So now we will continue reading the answer by Raghunath Das Babaji. This also reeks of illogical Mayavadi thought and word jugglery. If, as a Mayavadis, any Brahman is undifferentiated, how is the dream state produced along with all these differentiations from Brahman state to the Jiva state? Mayavadis will never succeed in establishing the concept of monism just by offering analogies such as under illusion one confuses mother of pearl with silver or a rope with a snake. Their arguments are shallow and misleading. Vrajanath, so far I have understood that the original identity of the Jiva is beyond the circle of influence of Maya. Nonetheless, Maya is able to captivate the Jiva because of the minute nature of his constitution. My question is, did the Chit Shakti create the Jiva, endowing him with his intrinsic tatastha swabhav? Intrinsic. Raghunath Das Babaji, no. The Chit Shakti is the full and absolute spiritual energy of Sri Krishna, and her creations are all eternally perfect. The Jiva is not a Nitya Siddha, an eternally perfect being. The Jiva becomes perfect through sadhana, which means that he becomes a sadhana siddha and then experiences the same level of spiritual bliss as that of the Nitya Siddha. The four classes of Sakhis serving Srimati Radhika are Nitya Siddha. Srimati Radhika is Chitta Shakti Swarup, the embodiment of the Chitta Shakti. And these Nitya Siddha Shaktis, Sakhis, are her Kaya Vyuha, direct personal expansions. Thus, they emanate from the Chit Shakti, Srimati Radhika herself. On the other hand, the Jivas are produced by the Jiva Shakti of Sri Krishna, also known as the Tatastha Shakti. The Chit Shakti is Purna Shakti, the full and complete potency of Sri Krishna, whereas the Jiva Shakti is the Apurna Shakti, incomplete and partial energy of Sri Krishna. All full and absolute principles are transformation of the Purna Shakti. In contrast, the Jivas, who are atomic particles of consciousness, are the transformation of the Apurna Shakti. Sri Krishna expands himself, taking up various forms appropriate for presiding over the different manifestations of his Shakti. Correspondingly, he manifests different kinds of entities according to the different kind of potencies he employs to create them. When presiding over the Chitta Shakti manifestation, Sri Krishna manifests his original form as Sri Krishna in Braj or as Sri Narayan, the Lord of the Vaikuntha. When presiding over the Jiva Shakti, he expands as Sri Balaram, his Vilas Murti, which is the expansions that assist Sri Krishna in his pastimes. When presiding over the Maya Shakti, he accepts the triplicate Vishnu expansions of Karnodaksai, Garbhodaksai, and Sirodaksai. As Sri Krishna in Braj, he brings into existence everything that is fully and wholly spiritual. In Braj, expanded as Sri Balaram, he generates the Nitya Siddha Parsad, the eternally liberated associates and servitors who execute the 8 type of devotional service to him as Sri Krishna in Braj. In Vaikuntha, Sri Balaram expands as Sankarsan, Ananta says, to generate the Nitya Siddha Parsad of Sri Narayan, who accomplished the 8 kind of service to him as Sri Narayan in Vaikuntha. And Sri Shankar's son then further expand as Mahavishnu to preside over the Maya Shakti. Mahavishnu generates the Tatastha Shakti, Jivas, borderline potency souls, who are susceptible to the influence of Maya and further expand to manifest the form of Paramatma as the heart of the Tatastha Shakti Jivas. As long as these Tatastha Shakti Jivas generated by Mahavishnu do not receive the shelter of the Ladini Shakti, which is bestowed by his mercy alone, they are always prone to be subjected by Maya. When captivated by Maya, They are obedient to the dictates of Triguna, the three modes of material nature. Hence, the conclusion is that the Jiva Shakti gives birth to the Jivas. The Chit Shakti does not produce the Jivas. Vrajanath, earlier you have explained that the spiritual world and the Jivas are eternal. How is it possible for eternal entities to have birth, appearance, or creation? If they appear at a certain time and did not exist before that, how does that confer eternality upon them? Raghunath Das Babaji. Time and space are experienced in the material world as quite different from the time and space of the spiritual world. Material time is divided into three sections: past, present, and future. However, in the spiritual world, time is ever present and without any division. All spiritual activities and happening of the transcendental realm are pursued in Vartaman, the present, whereas whatever incidents are naturally experienced here are rooted in the notions of mundane time and place. When we discuss spiritual subjects and say things such as, later the Jiva became entangled with Maya, the spiritual world was created. Maya has no function in the creation of the Jiva, and so on. Our worlds are being influenced by the concept of material time. In our captive conditioned state, this influence is very natural and to be expected. In all discussion about the Jiva and transcendence, our thought cannot be free from the concept of mundane time, which automatically entered our deliberations. Thus, inevitably, we talk and think in terms of past, present, and future. However, when you consider the inner meaning of this topic, keep in mind that a person who is solely searching for realizations of the pure essence of that absolute truth will perceive and apply the concept of the eternal, ever-present time factor in his understanding of these topics. Dear young man, you must be extremely cautious while deliberating upon these subjects. Simply absorb yourself in the spiritual concept and reject the unavoidable mundane dross, D-R-O-S-S, caused by the words. The eternal servant of Sri Krishna, the Jiva, having forgotten his real identity, has been imprisoned by Maya. The Vaishnavas repeat this sentence very often. However, all Vaishnavas knows that the Jiva has an eternal nature, of which there are two groups: Nityabadha, eternally conditioned, and Nityamukta, eternally liberated. The subject is put in this way because the ordinary human intellect is in the grips of pramad, illusion, and therefore cannot fully comprehend transcendental matters. However, The introspective sage pursues spiritual truth in the quietness of his Chitta Samadhi, devotional meditation. All our speeches are mundane and covered with material contamination. It is up to you to discern the underlying pure truth. Concerning these topics, there is no room for debating and arguing because applying logic and rhetoric or spiritual subject matter with their materially inconceivable concept is a futile exercise. We won't be able to understand until we purified our senses. I'm aware of the fact that you cannot immediately comprehend the depth of this line of spiritual thought. However, as your devotional practice and spiritual attachment increases, your power to discriminate between matter and spirit will be sharpened. Your body and its present activities are mundane, but in reality, you are not mundane. You are an inestimable spiritual entity. So when you learn more about yourself, you will realize how superior and different the nature of your real self is from the phenomenal world. If I talk to you about your real self, or if you merely hear and read about it, these instructions will not be very profitable for you. You must begin the process by sincerely chanting Harinam. Thereby, your spiritual identity will be manifest gradually and concordantly. Your perceptions of the spiritual world will take discernible shape. Both mind and words are material products. Therefore, even untiring effort in their applications are unable to approach transcendental topics. Hence, in the Vedas, Taittiriya Upanishad 241, we find Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha. That is Brahman. If mind and words are searching for him, they return unsuccessfully. My advice for you is that you do not approach anyone and ask for a decision upon this philosophy. Try to feel and realize within yourself. So far, I have given you the hints and pointers. Brajana, you have said that Jiva is like the spark of a fire and is also like an atomic particle of the rays of the spiritual sun. What exactly is the role of the Jiva Shakti according to these analogies? Raghunath Das Babaji. Sri Krishna is the conflagrations, the self-illuminated spiritual sun. Thus, everything within the burning flames of the sun is fully spiritual. The rays emanating from their source, the spiritual sun, are the subservient expansions of the Swarup Shakti. The Parmanu, atomic particles, comprising the rays of the spiritual sun are the Jivas. The Swarup Shakti has manifested the sun planet. However, the activities that take place outside the sun globe are the activities of the Jiva Shakti, the partial expansions of the Swarup Shakti. Therefore, any activities pertaining to the Jivas are the actions of the Jiva Shakti alone. According to the Vedic statement, Shvetsa Upanishad 6:8, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. The Chit Shakti is the Parashakti, the highest absolute potency. Outside the spiritual realm of the Chit Shakti and between this spiritual realm and the material realm of Maya, there is the field of the Tatastha Shakti, where the Chit Shakti manifests herself in her partial expansion as the Jiva Shakti, thereby generating the eternal Jivas in the Tatastha marginal realm. Brajana, a fire, the sun, and the burning spark are all material inert objects. Why are they used as analogies to describe spiritual topics? Raghunath Das Babaji. I have warned you earlier that using mundane words to explain transcendental topics create a situation wherein one has to deal with unavoidable conceptual imperfections. In lieu of other possibilities, one is forced to use the mundane analogies of the sun, spark, and the rays. In truth, Krishna is a million and more times superior to the sun. And the same is true of his abode and his bodily luster. Nevertheless, one may use such comparison because there is a helpful resemblance within them. However, these examples help to convey ideas for the elucidations of only a limited number of specific qualities. Not all the qualities in their entirety and in all their aspects. The beauty and revealing luminosity of the sun and its sun rays act as good analogies to show the corresponding qualities of the absolute truth. However, the intrinsic qualities of the sun and the sun rays, namely their ability to burn and their state of being gross matter, are not comparable to spiritual objects. When one compares milk with water, one may be attempted to illustrate a particular similarity, namely the liquid state. Only that particular similarity of liquidity is being illustrated, not that milk and water are the same in all respect. Hence, analogies assist in highlighting the similarity of the two entities on certain points, even if ultimately those two entities are of contrasting natures. Vrajanath. I think there is a question he is going to ask, so I think it will not serve any purpose. So we should stop here and remain always absorbed in Goloka Vrindavan, a wonderful pastime that we are reading. We should try to memorize slowly and put it in a film form so we can close our eyes when we go to sleep and we should see one by another pastimes wonderfully. And it's very glorious to engage our mind and senses, remembering Krishna. So, with those thoughts, always remain happy, jubilant, and totally fearless. And whoever you come across, give them a kind word that their life can also become successful. With those thoughts, I would like to offer my humble obeisances at the dusk of this wonderful devotees that who is taking so much austerity to join every morning. On this Braj Mandala Parikrama, I have good things is, whenever I have some question, His Holiness Radha Raman Maharaj always respond with his depth of knowledge about the Parikrama because Radha Raman Maharaj has, from the beginning, Maharaj has attended the Braj Mandala, so it's very helpful. And Maharaj is so kind. Whenever I send some query, Maharaj right away responded. Actually, Maharaj called me just now, but because we were in the session, I could not pick up the phone. So with those thoughts, always remain happy, and I'm really in debt to all of you who joined from Houston, from India, from New Jersey, Virginia, Boston, Boise, Atlanta, Austin, Alachua, College Station, Tempe, Phoenix, San Jose, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Naperville, Philadelphia, Charlotte, New Orleans, Baltimore, Portland, Valentine, Dhaka, and Orlando. Today also, I think Braj Bihari Prabhu will be giving the Bhagavatam class at the Houston Temple. So I would like to go and hear the Bhagavatam class. So I'll be logging off pretty soon. But thank you very much for joining. And if Krishna shows desire, we'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Newer and newer devotees joining at earlier and earlier time. It's so nice to see like that. And it says that when we purified ourselves, there will be so much attraction will come for the devotional practices that it will be very hard to stop. We will lose all the deep-rooted attachment for this nonsense material attachment once and for all. And we will become a freely bird that we can fly in the transcendental atmosphere of Brajadham and see and relish wonderful pastimes with those personality. There is no anxiety, just say, everything will be provided by Krishna. You will be eternally living, no sickness, no disease, no birth, no death. What else do we need? Anything that we will need will be provided by Krishna. So it's where you want to see that glorious result in our life, then we have to put a lot of effort. Just to even get the bread and butter, we are giving away most auspicious 8 hours of our day to what to speak of attaining Krishna Prem. We must dedicate so much of our time slowly and slowly, more and more, so we can finish our goal. We don't want to run short in this life.